Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. My day's just getting started. I woke up about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, but I just been kind of easing into the day, editing a little video, making some notes, doing a little research, and just kind of having a light, lazy morning. But anyhow, I just wanted to talk about this today. This is like just going to be a little quick video, and it's just going to be in general. I'm not going to any real specifics on the kitchen, but one thing this really becoming I'm becoming more aware of lately, since I'm spending more time in the kitchen, and Melissa was just here, and I've been up in my game when it comes to recipes, and I'm going to continue up in my game when it comes to recipes. Actually got several ideas for recipe books that I'm going to be working on and developing, but I still want to keep the message. It's all about the basics. Like I say, and I'm full of contradictions too. I can say one thing one day, and 6 months later my thinking changes, because my thinking's definitely changing on the recipes. It's changing, but it's not. It's changing in the respect that I'm enjoying getting in the kitchen a little bit more and taking a little bit more time and doing a little bit more elaborate recipes that are a little bit tastier. But my philosophy hasn't changed, and it won't change, and it's that you don't need to be fancy in the kitchen to thrive on this lifestyle. In fact, it's more about one thing I've learned focusing on the food more heavily recently, and I learn a little bit more by watching videos, and it's been a process that began some couple of years ago. I've seen my skills increase in the kitchen, and when I say that, I don't necessarily mean I've gone to being some great chef, but it's just easier for me to do what I do on a daily basis, by watching people like Tanny Raw. And I've been watching Melissa before, and after kind of spending some time with her in the kitchen, I learned these little tricks, just little tricks here and there. Like I say, one of the biggest things that's going to ever help you on this lifestyle is just to learn a number of simple, healthy dressings, salad dressings. I can. The more I was telling Melissa when she first got here that was one of the things I really needed to add. I needed to add 3 or 4 new recipes to my repertoire, just kind of to mix things up, because I've been going for a long time on just kind of a handful of recipes, and they're still good, but it's always nice to have something new and fresh. So like I say, I've been picking up little tricks here and there, and I just kind of every 6 months, 8 months or so, I look back and I notice, I'm like, wow, you know a little bit more in the kitchen now, and that is fundamental, because you've got to enjoy your food. I mean, it's all about being simple. It's all about being basic. You don't have to get all this complicated. You don't have to have a bunch of fancy equipment, but you're more likely to be successful on this lifestyle if you're enjoying your food. And after a bit of time, you'll probably come to enjoy a little bit in the kitchen. You don't look at it. I don't look at it as so much of a chore to get out of the way these days. I'm starting to enjoy it. You'll just learn little things, how to put recipes together. I don't use a set formula. I know Tanny Raw and Melissa both have kind of a set formula for doing dressings. And I kind of take elements from both of that, but you can take little things like that, like, always having something sweet. Like I've learned, like having fruits around, dates. I use mango in my dressings. It's differently like contrast, sweets and sours, and a little bit of this for filler. I've learned big time. I depend on zucchini. I use that as filler in lots of things. But these are little things you just learn bit by bit by bit by bit. And don't get overwhelmed. Don't try to get intimidated in the kitchen. Just just keep learning little by little, and you will see your food evolve. Now, I've actually thought that would be a great topic for a book, and maybe doing some retreats or something down here. It's just the very basics, and the basics mean different things to different people. Being a guy and having a bunch of buddies, so I can say this freely. I know, and I'm not stereotyping. Lots of guys are very good in the kitchen, but lots and lots of guys are very inadequate in the kitchen. They've never done anything in the kitchen. They've never prepared food, and they have to start almost at square one. Some do. Women do too. Women, like I say, not getting into gender stereotypes here, but I would think as a whole, there's probably more women that know what they're doing in the kitchen than men do. But, there's great men chefs out there, so don't ever think that it's limited to women in the kitchen is what I'm trying to say. So all I'm saying is people start at different places. The basics for some people may be just knowing, just the very basics, how to chop things up, what kind of basic equipment you need in the kitchen to get started. And knowing the difference between what you need to do this lifestyle and what you want and what's kind of bonus. We go back over and over and over, and once again, I'll get the Vitamix cult people that'll just kind of, they don't hear what I say when I say, I want a Vitamix. I would love to have a Vitamix. Vitamix is great. Vitamix is not vital to do this lifestyle. Little by little, I've gotten more equipment as I go. I know for the first couple of years, about the only equipment I had was a cheap blender, a dull knife, and a cutting board. Then I got a food processor. It was a fairly cheap one, about $35. Didn't use that for the longest time. And I had a fairly economical juicer. I think the first juicer I got when I went raw vegan, I paid about $80 for. But it was quite a while, and then I was almost 2 years into this lifestyle when I took a step up and got a NutriBullet, and now I'm just rocking a Ninja. I have a few toys I've gotten little by little, but that's not necessary. Learn those basics first, and do the best with what you can. If it has to be a cheap blender, a knife, and a cutting board, you can do a lot with that. But yeah, it is nice if you've got the money, or if you can get a refurbished model, to have a Vitamix. You can do some things you can't do with the cheapo blender. Some people don't like. I love having a dehydrator. It's opening up a lot of possibilities too. A lot of people don't like dehydrated food. If you don't like it, everybody's got their own thing. Everybody's got their own way of thinking. Everybody's got their things. I eat this. I don't eat that. So you got to personalize it. When I say title of the video, Raw Vegan Tips, it's just a way of thinking. Basic kitchen survival. But what works for you, where it works under your circumstances. But what I'm getting at, like I say, and I won't keep rambling on about this because it's a pretty simple one. If you will take the time and just learn a few skills in the kitchen, this lifestyle will be a lot easier. Right now, I've picked up a bunch of new recipes recently, and just a bunch of ideas for making and developing little simple recipes. And all of a sudden it's like, I wouldn't say I had kind of gotten bored or stagnant with my food, but I was just kind of, okay, it would be nice to have, change up a little bit, have some new recipes in the rotation, some new food. And I'm really enjoying it a lot more. It's kind of like I'm revitalized with this lifestyle. So anyhow, that's one thing I would really, really advise you to do. There's lots of videos out there. Just go nuts. Sometimes on the weekend, if you got a slow weekend, bad weather, or if you're just sitting around watching a lot of YouTube for the weekend, do searches, kitchen searches, raw vegan recipes. Just watch through everything. You can pick up little tricks here and there. And little by little, you'll add a little bit more to your toolbox, and you'll start finding that once you can do more things in the kitchen, you will find this lifestyle easier to do, and it'll almost become flawless. With some of the tasty food I have now, I just don't have any desire not to eat anything that's not, that's not the best for me. So anyhow, just my 2 cents worth. I hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you are having a wonderful week. It's almost the weekend again. Man, time's going by. It's going to be the holidays before you know it. September. Goodness. Anyhow, love you guys. Peace.